What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Bartender Hideout. Here today for yet another episode of the Cocktail Countdown. As you guys know, we are looking at the top 50 most popular drinks of 2020, and we landed on episode number 39 today. Episode number 39 is going to be all about the bamboo. This is a cocktail I don't know myself too much, but luckily Uncle Bob knows a lot about the history, and after this one I'll be able to tell you a little bit more about it. So it's a win-win for both of us. But for now, as I said, Uncle Bob will take over. Then I'll be showing you how to do this one, and afterwards be tasting it to tell you what I think of it. But let's kick it over to Uncle Bob.
Hi there, and welcome back to Story Time with Uncle Bob. Today we will be having a chat about the bamboo, which is probably the most well-known classic sherry cocktail in the world. I must say though, I don't know a lot of sherry cocktails. Nevertheless, still well known. This is actually a cocktail which doesn't necessarily have a real base spirit. Obviously sherry is a big one out of that, but it kind of goes half-half a lot of the time. When we look at the history for this drink, there's actually, as so often in this whole cocktail countdown of Koen, there's multiple stories and multiple conflicts on the timeline saying that people claim to have made this drink and can never really back it up properly. So we get a bunch of stories. That's what you get with bartending. Actually, with this drink, the first reference was in 1886, and supposedly it was created by, and I quote, some unknown Englishman. So yeah, there goes your naming of the perpetrator here. Apparently this was some unknown Englishman that was bartending in New York, and they said he came up with this drink. There was multiple similar reports from around that time, but no one really could pin a name on it. There's also stories about this guy called Louis Eppinger. He was a German working in Yokohama and supposedly created this drink, and maybe even created this drink before that time, but they stated it from him being from Yokohama, so we'll go with that one. Then there's a bunch of different recipes in multiple cocktail books. Say, for example, Thomas Stewart's 1904, Stewart's Fancy Drinks and How to Drink Them. That's one of the books. And then you also have William Bookby's 1908, The World's Best Drinks and How to Mix Them, which is definitely something that someone here knows how to do. You know what I'm talking about? Let's throw it over back to Koen.
So, who's ready to start making this cocktail? Let's get on it. So, we will be needing our mixing glass for this one. No shaking this week. I know you guys love to see that, but you're gonna have to go back to one of my other videos. Then, we're gonna be needing 4 ingredients for this one. As Uncle Bob said, this is definitely a classic that I'm not super familiar with, but still, we're gonna give it a shot and see what we can make out of this one. So as a first ingredient, we're gonna be needing a Fino sherry. In this case, I have a Domeco. As usual, definitely go for what you have available near you. So if you don't have this exact brand, but definitely go for like a Fino sherry. That's a definite requirement for this one as far as I know. So from the sherry, we'll be adding 1.5 ounces or 45 milliliters for all the European people out there. Then as the next one, we will be using our trusty Martini Rosso that we've been seeing in a lot of episodes as well. So I'm sure you're familiar with this product by now, if you've been watching my episodes at least. Then add 30 milliliters of that, or 1 ounce. should be plenty. There is multiple recipes where they do exactly equal parts of the dry vermouth and the sherry, but yeah, I think this one will work slightly better, so that's why I'd like to go for this one. And then we will be adding 20 milliliters or 3/4 of an ounce of our dry vermouth. So that's definitely one that we will be needing in pretty much all of the recipes of this bamboo. And as a final touch, I have some Angostura bitters, but the orange bitter kind, and we only need 1 dash, should be plenty. So we'll be all set to start finishing off this cocktail. So let's add some ice to our mixing glass. There we go. And let's give this one a stir. As you know, the best way to figure out if your cocktail is any good at some point when you're stirring is to just having to give it a taste yourself. And keeping an eye on if you feel the balance shifting, if you feel like you're having a better cocktail, or you don't want to overdo it in that case, obviously. So definitely keep an eye on that. Keep tasting when you're stirring these cocktails. I think that is the main thing you want to keep in mind. And yep, that seems like we're about there. Then we have our pre-chilled glass already. In this case, I'm using a coupe glass. That is probably the one that's been used most. I've seen some variants where they use a Nick and Nora glass. Again, it's whatever you have available as well. And we'll be pouring this straight into our coupe glass. Love that color. Looks great already. And then as a finishing touch, I'll be grabbing my orange and be taking an orange twist of that, and make sure we squeeze it out over there. Twist it around, make it look nice, and drop that right in. And there we go, guys. That is our bamboo. Okay, let's give this one a little sip. That's very interesting. I didn't really quite know what to expect with this one. This is another cocktail that I haven't been too familiar with, because obviously I had to do some research on this one. But looking at the ingredients, I wasn't really sure what to expect. But this is definitely not what I expected. I guess the sherry makes it nice and sweet, and I don't really like. I feel like the dry vermouth should be having more of a reach there, like that it would be more outspoken. But actually, it's not that bad. Like, it's mainly, I feel like you're tasting mainly the sherry and the sweet vermouth, and then dry vermouth comes in behind, but like just gives it that little bit of balance that you're looking for. So it's exactly what you want. And then obviously in comparison with having the orange bitters in there as well as the orange peel, gives it that little bit of citrus that you might just need to really give it that just a little kick over the edge to make it like this well-balanced cocktail, I guess. So yeah, definitely would recommend making this one at home. Obviously, if you have the ingredients in your liquor cabinet, or if you want to go to the liquor store and grab some new bottles, always a good excuse to do that. Yeah, and I think that's it for this week, or at least for this cocktail. As you know, make sure to drop a like on this video if you think we're doing a good job. And also make sure to hit that subscribe button and press the notification bell if you want to get an instant notification of when a new video of mine comes up. Yeah, and as for now, guys, I think that's it for this week. So I'll see you next week. Ciao.